welcome again to the Real Collective Podcast, the show where everything's made up and the points don't matter. With me, as always, is Sean Tasse. We're gonna wing it a little bit today, everybody, because it's that time of year where everyone in the world is sick. So that's what we've been dealing with on both ends of things, and we still wanted to make sure that we gave you something to go into next week with, because our millions of subscribers count on us every week. Speaking of which, if you are having a good time, please like, subscribe, and share the channel. That would be great. We'd really appreciate that. And you can download us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And down below, probably links to other episodes. So check those ones out, and maybe you'll find what you're looking for as far as info goes. Sean, how are you, my friend?
I'm running on house with 3 kids who are all home sick. Spent 3 days in a row earlier this week at Chio. Big shout out to Chio. They should be sponsors of the show. We should be sponsors of theirs.
Yeah.
It's they do an awesome job. It's been busy is an understatement.
Yeah.
It's everybody is not terrible, not great, but with everything floating around and the holidays around the corner, I think it's important for us to be responsible, and that means keeping the kids home and putting on masks when we're going inside. There was a big Ottawa District School Board conversation, which we can skip for the purposes of this podcast.
Sure. But, yeah. Some people are dumb. So, moving on from that. Anyway, preferences aside, today what we wanted to get into was with the changing market, and a lot of people that are maybe scooping up some homes right now for a good deal and might be moving over the winter. Some people, on a side note, have been asking, should I buy now, or should I buy in the spring, or should I sell now, or should I sell in the spring? And Sean, you had a good answer for that. Like, we don't have a crystal ball, so we don't know. If you have to sell now, then sell now.
Right. And I mean, we don't know whether the market is going to be going up or whether it's going to be going down. That's what people are always asking. Oh, should I sell now or should I wait until the spring? And the answer is, like you said, we don't know. We did see at the end of last year, the sales started to trend upwards towards the end of the year and leading into the new year. What we've seen this year is that as the interest rates rise, the average sale price is coming down. So there seems to be a correlation between the increase in interest rates and the reduction in house prices. Well, we know that there's another rate announcement coming out on December 7th and another one coming out on January 23rd. So they're probably not going to say the rates are going down, right? So they might say, hey, the rates are staying flat. But there's a part of me that thinks, hey, there doesn't seem to be anything in the short-term horizon that says the prices are going to be going up again, or that waiting until the spring will necessarily get you more money for the sale of your home. Now, it might not get you less, but it might, right? It might be that your house sells and the next one that looks exactly the same sells a month or two later, and it ends up selling for $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 less, because that seems to be the trajectory of the market. So as if you're moving and you're changing houses, like you're swapping one for another in an upward market, we've always been telling you, hey, buy first and sell second, right? Because as the market's going up, you're buying at a lower price and then selling at a bit of a higher price. But as the market's going down, and it hasn't really flattened out just yet, we're telling you to sell first and buy second. And the sooner you sell, the better off you're going to be. And if you are going to be homeless, we'd also say ask for a longer closing period, right? You sell, like, let's say, for example, in December, and you ask for a closing, further into the future, whether it's, May or whatever.
Exactly. More like the 90 to 120 as opposed to 30 to 60 that we've seen a lot lately of.
Yeah. And it gives you time to go shopping, right? And we'll find you something that's suitable. And so then the question that comes up is, I don't want to move in the winter, right? And so that's why we're having this sort of conversation today. I've moved in the winter. Have you moved in the winter?
Yeah.
It sucks. I
Yeah.
don't move in the winter. I get it.
No.
So we wanted to have a bit of a conversation about, how to avoid the suckiness of winter moves and how to make it sort of as painless as possible. Some things that we've both sort of found as we've gone through the process, and share that with you guys today. So
Yeah. And getting into it, like one of the first things, obviously, is packing well in advance and having like a game plan, so you don't have to spend more time outside or on the way to the truck, however that means. And maybe that just means hiring movers to carry it in. That's kind of the first thing. Now, if you can't swing that, because sometimes that can get very expensive, then it's coming up with a game plan. It's sort of laying it out. There's a lot of tips online on how to pack a moving truck. And how to go about that to make it a little more streamlined and efficient. Having done that several times throughout my 20s, I can tell you I'm pretty good at it. The old Texas Tetris adage. Yeah. The old Texas adage. Just jam it in there and let God sort it out.
let God sort it out. And if he can, then shoot it.
Darn right. Yeah, getting yourself prepared, having a game plan in place, whether that means having movers or doing it yourself, but having that is going to be great. And knowing where you're going to go in the new house with it, whether that's maybe there's a front room and that's just your landing spot for every single box, and then you're going to deal with it later.
Yeah. And get the furniture where it needs to go. Like, make sure the boxes are out of the way of your main path, right? And get your big furniture landed to wherever it's going to be, your couches, your beds, bookshelves and stuff like that. I would also, if you can, have some flexibility. If you've got a moving truck scheduled for a weekend, that might be better than having it for 2 days, because if you've got, look at the weather and you've got 10 centimeters on Saturday and you've got, +3 on Sunday, then just move on Sunday. Like have a little bit of flexibility for that. Obviously, if you're hiring a moving company, you'll get less flexibility, but you also don't have to deal with that shoveling. Right, shoveling the snow, clearing your work area before you start to walk on it. Because if you do have some snow and you're in a brand new house and you're moving into it, and somebody hasn't shoveled or done the laneway or anything like that, hire a company before. So that's all part of planning, right? Hire a company before to go and scrape the laneway and shovel the front steps before you start walking on it. Because of course, once you start walking on that snow, it's not snow anymore; it's ice, and somebody's going to get hurt. And maybe a day or two before moving, think about, okay, well, let's go and put a bunch of salt down, or whatever. Let's melt all this ice as much as we can. I'd also really want to focus on layering. I mean, it sounds super lame, but you're going to be cold plus sweaty, right? So find the right clothes, get set up that way.
Yeah. Well, no, it's one of those things, right? Like, you start with a whole bunch of layers, and then as soon as you start going, you take one off. As soon as you keep going, you take one off, and eventually, in the middle of winter, moving in a t-shirt and you're fine. T-shirt and a toque, the old Canadian move uniform.
yeah, exactly. And it isn't fun. The other thing, you're typically going to be moving from a place, and oftentimes that place that you're moving from will have a shed. One thing I had in one of my winter moves, I didn't want to shovel all the way to the back of the shed, because it was like 100 feet deep lot. And so I got a sled, and I got a three-person sled, and I used the sled, and I was just a mule carrying stuff from the shed back out. The other bit is you will have to deal with potential comebacks. So let's say, for example, you've got your lawn furniture and you'll have to come back and get it in the springtime. Just make sure you write that in. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. One of the other things I was going to mention, I didn't see it anywhere, but I just thought it would be a good idea. I know some movers do it anyway, even in the summertime, but those contractor runners, like the rugs that are not really a rug, but like what contractors use and some movers do to protect your stairs, those are a great idea in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Especially like no matter what kind of flooring you have, it's going to make your cleanup a lot easier. Not only that, like you're not going to want to take off your boots every time you're coming in and out of the house, especially when like holding a couch or a dresser and like, okay, take your boots off. Like, no, no, get a vacuum. You're gonna need to steam clean these rugs when I'm done. So, getting some of those, pretty sure you can rent them from places too, just like if you don't need them on the regular basis. But those are going to be very handy throughout your house.
Yeah.
And you make them like paths, like the original Legend of Zelda for Nintendo. That's what your house will look like. Just straight lines all over.
I thoroughly enjoy the reference.
Yeah.
The other piece is either way, you should do that, especially to protect any carpet. If you're gonna, here I am saying, "Oh, put salt down a day or two before," and then you're like, "Yeah, trudge all that salt into your house." If you have extra help, if it's not just you and your partner, if you do have extra help, and there's a couple of extra hands, think about maybe an inside team and an outside team, right?
Yeah.
Like, if it's, let's say, for example, two couples, it's probably going to be the guys moving. This is super sexist now that I'm thinking it out loud.
Whatever. 4 people, let's say.
Yeah. So 2 people moving things outside and 2 people moving things inside.
There you go.
However you split them up, it doesn't matter.
No, either way, it's still lifted.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a good point too, to help keep the inside of your house a little bit more clean. One of the other things, and this might sound like super obvious, but the amount of people that really don't do it. I know people who have had stuff broken during their moves several times in the winter because cold weather compresses and then it gets hot and it expands and then it gets cold again and then it compresses and then it gets hot again and expands. So when you have stuff like musical instruments or like a China set, anything like your electronics, especially TVs are supposed to be kept upright if you can do it. They'll probably be okay for like the trip there, but wrap it in a moving blanket or something. But otherwise, try to take them in your own vehicle. It's nicely heated. It's going to be nice and warm. So anything that's like of value like that, that, is going to flux with the temperature and kind of compromise it, just put it in your car. Just do that.
You can let your kids ride in the moving truck.
Yeah. There's a book about that. There's like a Robert Munch book or something where the kid like wraps up the sibling. That's really weird.
That tracks. As
Yeah.
long as they say the same word 5 times, it's definitely a Robert Munch book.
Wow. Yeah. Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. Yeah. So those are a few tips. Obviously, like depending on your pet situation, that's anytime you move though. You're gonna have to find somewhere for your pets to go.
Yeah.
But I think especially for a moving time, the biggest thing is like a cleanliness is next to godliness sort of scenario. One of those. So keep your stuff clean, protect your floors, wrap your stuff up properly, dress yourself properly, and before you know it, you'll be done. And remember, unloading usually takes a quarter of the time as loading.
Why?
So when you feel why?
Yeah.
Because you have to take it from you have to figure out how you're going to put it in and how to make it fit. And when you're taking it out, you don't have to do that.
Right.
You just take it out and you put it in the room. It's a lot more streamlined. Like this is going in that room, this is going in that room, this is going in that room, as opposed to this is going in the truck. Whereas when you're loading it up, you're like, where is this going in the truck?
Right.
When you're unloading it, you kind of know where it's going in the house.
Yeah. Because you've done the prep work and your boxes are marked.
Exactly.
Nice.
Always quicker to unload, even with groceries, everything.
It seems everything's faster on the way back. I mean, if I'm going on a trip, it takes me 2 hours to get there and 2 hours to get back, but the 2 hours to get back feels a lot faster than 2 hours to go there.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, that's a good spot to take a break. Here's a word from one of our sponsors. It's Tasse. It's us. We're our own sponsors, but we're worth it. So take a look at that, and we'll be back in the second half. Like, subscribe, share, download us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and we will be right back on the Real Collective Podcast.
This episode of the Real Collective podcast is brought to you by Real Collective. Real Collective brings together best-in-class real estate agents and collective experts in the field to deliver the best possible service to our clients. We govern ourselves with honesty, open-mindedness, and compassion. With diverse skill sets, our agents are able to better serve a wide array of clients, including first-time buyers, first-time sellers, transferees, estate sales, investors, and rural, vacation, and luxury properties. Authenticity and transparency are pillars of our process, which allows us to put our clients at the center of everything we do. Our years of experience and knowledge allow us to deliver prestigious service and optimal results. If you are interested in buying or selling your home, contact us today at realcollective.ca.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second half of the RCP. That's right. That's the Real Collective Podcast. Just went right into my morning radio DJ voice, and Sean went into interpretive dance. Don't know what's going on, but he did it. First half of the show, we told you how to move in the winter. Second half of the show, we're going to tell you what to watch this holiday season. That's right. We have no stake in this, but we are going over Christmas movies. Now, before we go over yes or no, do we watch these? I need to say my wife and I, before kids, had a couple of Christmases where we would watch any and every Hallmark movie or like straight to Netflix cheesy thing. Because when those holiday like Hallmark movies are self-aware that they are what they are, like one was about a time traveling knight, you know, like it was so funny. They're so funny to watch in that, like a bad horror movie, you know, like a campy horror movie. That's what you need out of those. When they try to be serious, they're not very good.
When you say self-aware, like, do they realize that they're being like ridiculous? And
yeah, because it's a Hallmark type Christmas movie, right? They're all ridiculous. So if they lean into that a little bit, I think it's much funnier. Yeah, you can almost tell in like a fourth wall sort of way where they just like, oh no, wink, like out to the screen to the people watching where they know what's going on.
Right. But you know what? That's not for us at all. We're like we'll watch some sappy Christmas movies, but not the ultra sappy. Hey, you know what? We should plug the parody that you guys did last year of.
Oh, there we go. Let's put that in the comments below.
Let's
put a link to that video. There's actually a few. So last year I wrote a parody for a Hallmark Christmas movie where a big city woman moves to the suburbs and falls in love with, you guessed it, a house. And the house is a living entity, and she falls in love with the house, and together they had some beautiful sheds.
That's like Small House.
That's the sequel. That's the next one.
Great.
Free house and a sequel. I don't know. Kids in a shed. Anyway, those are great. I like those ones a lot. Should we get into the list and we'll go like yes or no?
Yeah, I feel like you're like a secretly romantic, sappy guy that you don't like let on.
Oh, it's no secret. I'm good with those movies too. Yeah, I'm comfortable to watch anything. Like, it's not about that. I just like when they're just super cheesy and you have a nice drink with the person you're with, whatever that happens to be. By the way, there's a silk creamer that's peppermint mocha, which with coffee or decaf is so good. If you're into the libations, whiskey, rum chata, and peppermint mocha silk almond milk. Ooh.
It's funny. Not only did you send that to me, but also on my family group chat was that posted. Like, whoa, look at this. Yeah, obviously, it's on our order list. We're doing everything this year to be as festive as possible. I feel like, everybody said, oh, 2020 was a terrible year. 2021 is going to be way better. And it's like, oh, 2021 was a crappy year. 2022 is going to be better. Now at the end of the year, I'm like, you know what? Forget it. I am just going to have the best possible Christmas that I can. And there's a lot of stuff that is not going well for a lot of people. Everybody's sick. The world's falling apart. It's like, let's just have fun. Like, it's Christmas. whatever. Maybe that's just I'm 41 now, so this is my midlife my midlife stance. It's just I'm over all of the bad stuff, and I'm just gonna have a great Christmas. The end.
Nice. Yeah, that's my plan too. I think a big part of that is the Christmas movies and who you're watching them with and what you're doing. Some are great for the whole family. Some are great for just like a date night or whatever. Starting off is my favorite, which is Elf.
Bingo. Good one.
I think Elf is my favorite Christmas movie.
Shower scene?
Sounds like a weird thing to say if people haven't seen the movie, but yeah. Tasse is one of my favorite parts. Gets me every time. Really? Like sometimes because I only watch it once a year, and then there's certain parts in a movie where you forget it's coming, even though you know it's there.
That's on my list. Elf parody.
Yeah, I did an Elf parody, and then I did another 1950s sitcom type thing that was based around Christmas time. So I have like 3 Christmas listing videos that are out.
Yeah, let's post them in the comments.
Post them all, or put them like up here and up here at the end of the show.
I think I would have to point to one, and you would have to point to the other.
Okay, I don't know where we're placed on the YouTubes.
No.
If it changes. Somewhere around here. Next one. I'm gonna say it because it's not on your list, but Die Hard.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it wasn't on my list because I made this list back in 2017, and the first time that I ever watched Die Hard was last year.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
As a 40-year-old man who grew up in that scenario, the first time last year, it was great. And I'm watching this from like, a different era, like 30 years, So yeah, great. Love it. I'll watch it.
And I don't want to get into is Die Hard a Christmas movie? It doesn't matter. It's a Christmas tradition at the very least. It's set at Christmas and you watch it every year. And if you're run through the whole list, you have Die Hard 2 because it's also set at Christmas, but not as good.
Yes, of course. I would hit you with one that we've already watched in this house, which is a heartfelt classic, Tom Hanks in Polar Express.
Mm-hmm.
Goodie. Like it a lot.
Yeah, it's a good one. I don't watch it every year, but I do enjoy it. So it's like, I'm going to say half on my list.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a good adventure movie, especially with kids. Like they,
exactly. Yeah.
Scary, but they can still get into it. But it just, it gives you like that really good spirit of Christmas. So,
yeah.
Anyway.
Christmas with the Cranks.
Yeah. It falls in the category of those, like, it's not like a Hallmark Christmas movie, but it's like spirit of Christmas, love is in the heart, you got these people mixing with these people, and it just, like all the other ones that are on this list, like the Love Actuallys and all those types of The Holiday, right?
Yeah.
Holiday Stone, like all these like family vibey Christmas movies, right?
Yeah, I think it's kind of fun every once in a while. We got that one. Okay. Christmas Vacation. I feel like that's just something everybody should have.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to watch that one.
Yeah, big time.
All right. Love Actually.
Yeah, I didn't love Actually the movie until I went through and watched it. I know. Yeah, a lot of those cheesy, sappy ones I kind of just skipped over. But now that I went back and watched them, and we actually sat down and made this list up, like I said, I think we made this list in like 2017. Yeah, I like it. I'm down with it.
All right. I'm gonna ruffle some feathers. I think I'm gonna ruffle some feathers right now. A Christmas Story is the most overrated Christmas movie of all time. I think it's bad. I don't understand the point of any of it. There's this kid who just does things, and then it's Christmas.
Is it the black and white one?
No, that's Miracle on 34th Street.
Is it the old one?
It's the one where he's you're gonna put your eye out with that thing, and then he puts his tongue on the lamppost. Kid with the glasses.
I you know what? I know the cover of it. I don't think I've ever actually seen it. So
yeah, Yeah, I've watched it twice. And the second time around, I'm like, okay, maybe I missed something, and I did not. I did not miss anything.
I think a lot of the thing about these like traditions is like what you watched when you were younger, and you just like stick with it. But yeah, like I'm gonna ruffle some feathers. I don't care about Miracle on 34th Street. I don't care about A Christmas Story. But I will tell you the one that we saved for Christmas Eve, Home Alone. Whew,
Ah, yeah,
love it.
man, I love Home Alone movies.
Yeah.
1 and 2 anyway. Like, yeah,
Three's a bit of a write-off, but one is just
sure.
essential, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then of course you've got that old style stop motion, like the Rudolph and Frosty ones. I don't know.
Yeah.
Those are stuck around. Like, why do we like? There's so much better stuff, but we just keep watching them.
I know. You know what? There's just like this golden age of like Christmas time, and a lot of it has to do with when all those crooners and everything were putting out Christmas albums, and it was just like they have such a nice, warm feel to them. Yeah, so maybe that's why. I don't know.
Charlie Brown Christmas goes on there too, right?
Yeah, that one's all right. What else did you have? Oh, The Grinch. I like both. I really like the Jim Carrey one. We definitely watch that one all the time. Yeah. And then there was the CGI one or computer, animation one.
Dr. Seuss was a Dr. Seuss book, obviously. But yeah.
Yeah, and that was actually pretty good too. Like they changed what they could, obviously, and I was like, you just made a Grinch movie. And then you're like, well, you just made it like 20 years ago, but still, you just made a Grinch movie. So, but they did a good job with it. I liked it.
I agree. Yeah, I like the Grinch. I like that story. Again, it's like not a coming of age, but like a turn the corner sort of thing, right? I like that. I like that vibe around Christmas time. Jim Carrey and Christmas movies, he's doing it up because he was also doing that redo for the Christmas Carol. And watching Christmas, like Mickey's Christmas Carol right now, and like Mickey's whatever it is, Mickey's Christmas 1, Mickey's Christmas 2, all these cartoons that the kids watch all have their Christmas specials and stuff like that. But yeah, Jim Carrey in Christmas Carol, it wasn't, I don't know if it was a mocap or what it was, but it was kind of a weird.
It was a mix. It's like a hybrid.
Yeah. I liked it. I thought it was a good one. I think he's good. Good Canadian actor.
I watched Mickey's Christmas Carol all the time when I was a kid. That was the movie when I was a kid.
It's still good, man. And
it's not bad.
About a couple years later, that was
okay. I want to burn through some of these so we're not dragging it on too much. Office Christmas Party, that one's pretty funny. You've got The Night Before, another funny one. 4 Christmases, I like that one too. The Holiday, that's pretty good. That's the one with Jack Black and everything else. I really like that one. Prancer, Scrooged. Prancer, what's Prancer?
I don't remember. Again, I made this list like probably 5 years ago, so it was it was something. I like the idea of burning through the list. I'll tell you what I did like. I like both of those sort of not rated R, but like definitely not kid movies, Christmas ones, like Office Christmas Party and The Night Before. Like I was like, yeah, okay, I get into this, there's okay,
so let's get into that then. One of them that just came out that you've seen that I haven't, and I'm excited to, is Spirited with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds.
You know what? I was surprised. I turned it on not knowing what to expect, and what I found was a completely different movie than I thought I was going to get. So just I don't think I'm blowing any cover here when I tell you that the movie is similar-ish to A Christmas Carol.
Yeah, that's in the trailer. You're gonna get that vibe.
That's all I'm gonna say, because the movie that I watched, at first I was like, oh, really? It's going to be like this? And then I was like, yeah, you know what? This is what I need in my Christmas. So well done, Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell. I just feel like he should buy the Ottawa Senators because he can do no wrong. Ryan Reynolds, please buy the Ottawa Senators.
That's right. Further on the list of not out yet, but we're both excited for, Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
We're recording this on Thursday. It's coming out tomorrow. You won't see this posted until next week, so it'll be out by the time this video gets posted.
Oh, nice. Yes.
So
well, then I have weekend plans. Yeah. Man, it just sounds like it's gonna be so fun. Like the movies themselves are already fun, and then you have this group. That's great. That's a great mix of everything.
Yeah. James Gunn is great. All of the people who are involved are great, and apparently it's going to be requisite watching for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is coming out in next year in 2023. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, nice. Very excited for that.
There's one more that I am stoked for.
What do you got? What do you got?
It's with David Harbour from Stranger Things.
Like him, yeah.
Where he plays Santa Claus. And speaking of adult Christmas movies that are not for kids, this one is called Violent Night. You have a lot of criminals that are trying to break into this house and steal all the things. Santa's there, and Santa's got to stop all these bad guys.
Wow.
You need to go watch the trailer. It looks so fun. It almost reminds me of like Die Hard's obviously set in like Nakatomi Plaza, but this is like Die Hard in a house. Die Hard meets Home Alone, but with Santa as the main character.
Ooh, I like
that. Yeah. The trailer is ridiculous. Santa's like just drinking at a bar at the start of the trailer. It's so like you could say that. And it's David Harbour, who's so good. Man, I can't wait. It might be out already. I don't know. I got to find out.
Okay, yeah. So this is this year. While you're doing that, I'll hit you up with two from my teenage years that we kind of glossed over: Santa Claus and Santa Claus 2. There's also new stuff on Netflix that Santa Clauses, which I'm guessing it looks episodic and it piggybacks onto Santa Claus 1 and Santa Claus 2. So
yeah,
on the list that we skipped over.
Yeah, those are all right. Oh, Jingle All the Way. That's a fun movie.
Yes, it is. Yep.
Yeah. I always forget about it. It always gets omitted from lists, but then when it's on, I always enjoy it. Like, it's such a great 90s movie. Like Schwarzenegger, Sinbad, and Phil Hartman. Come on. Come on. That's gold. Anyway, that's fantastic. So Violent Night, I'm excited for. Comes out December 2nd. That is our very long list of Christmas movies that I had a great time talking about.
If there's something we forgot, guys, post them down in the comments below so we can see what we missed. We can grow our list and add them to it. This has probably been my most fun second half of a podcast episode that we've done in a while. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Put them down in the comments. Like, subscribe, share the channel. You can see whatever Christmas listing video that we've done is going to be in the link below or on one of the sides or tops or bottoms. So click on that if you want to check it out. If you got another 3 minutes or 4 minutes and you want to check it out, please do. This is the Real Collective Podcast. We had a great time. Download us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Like, subscribe, and share. And we will see you on the next one. And until then, keep it real.
And happy holidays, Collective.